Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David Baruch Hashem. Erev Shabbos Kodesh Parshas Bolak. Unbelievable. Wow. We have a parsha in the Torah named after this Russia and Bilam and Bolak. Unbelievable. But like we said the other day, it's worthy to say it again. Why do we even have this parsha in the Torah? What's it doing there? What's it doing there? Such a story. This Russia hates us. That Russia, this one wants to curse us. That wants to curse us. You know why it's there? Because we had no idea what was going on. We were in our camp, like Rashi says, we were nice in our tents. Everyone was, like he said, right? We were just living our lives. Meanwhile, there's this Russia that's trying to curse us, destroy us. We have no idea. We really had no idea. Hashem shows you. See, I wanted to tell you. My Kindle, I wanted to tell you. See, this is always going to be the same story. There's always guys around you, always looking to destroy you, always. But I'm there, I'm watching, I'm taking care of it for you. So it's a very comforting thing to understand why this is in the Torah. And it's such a, I think, is the most important message you could take out of the Parsha. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there behind you, always there, watching you. And that's why he says, we're going to take a Parsha in the Torah. We're going to make it a week, so you know that.
You just got the Matuvo Yaakov.
Yeah, no, that came from the bracha. That's the bracha, right? That's the opposite. Like we learned about the opposites this week.
Without writing it in the Torah, we wouldn't know that.
Yeah. No, but the whole story, just you understand the whole premise behind it. Then you see how the story manifests its way. It's unbelievable. This guy Bilam is unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's riding on his donkey, and his donkey goes to the side, and the donkey goes here. He hits his donkey. The donkey talks to him. It's amazing when you're going down the path of bad, wrongful path. He had his donkey talking to him. He didn't realize there's something strange here. Donkeys don't talk, right? But he was so wrapped up in his plan, he didn't even realize that's so blatant. There's a donkey talking to him. And he's arguing with the donkey. And he says to the donkey, if I had a sword, I'd kill you here. He tells the donkey, if I had a sword, I'd kill you. Why? Because all of the emissaries were behind him. They were watching he was the leader, right? So he was leading them. And then they see this thing that he can't ride his donkey. And then they asked him, hey, you're such an important guy, and you don't ride a horse? You don't have a nice stallion? You're riding a donkey? And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the Torah says that there was a malach that had a sword. Right? There was a malach with a sword in front of it. Bilam couldn't see it, but the donkey saw it. Right? That's why the donkey was going the other way. And the answer for that is it's very simple. Hashem was telling him, what's this thing with a sword? You're going to wind up dying by the sword. If you go down this path, you're going to wind up dying by the sword. And then he had the battle with Pinchas. And Pinchas killed him with the sword. It's unbelievable. When you see the story and you read the Midrash, it's just fascinating. Okay, now, but today we're learning Likutey Halachos, and we learned lesson 24 in Likutey Moharan. It taught us the great value of why we need to do mitzvah with joy, right? I think we're all convinced, maybe we're convinced that it's a very important thing to do a mitzvah b'simcha. what it accomplishes, it's unbelievable. And Rav Nosson told us through halach, we're learning Berachos Haidah in Likutey Halachos, and we're in halacha above. And Rav Nosson keeps telling us, like Rabbi Nachman wrote in lesson 23 in Tinyana. So I say we should learn lesson 23, and then we'll really appreciate more because he's going to keep talking about it. So we'll see where he's pulling from. It's not a long lesson, but it's a beautiful lesson. Okay, here we go. The words of the Rebbe. Likutey Moharan Tinyana, Siman Chav Gimel, lesson 23 in the second book. Binyan HaSimcha, regarding the topic of joy. Al Pi Mashal. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a mashal. So there are times that there are people that are so happy and they're dancing. They snatch one guy from the outside. He's not in the circle. Everyone's dancing in the circle. It's gewaldig. It's wonderful. And there's that guy sitting on the side. They grab him. That person is sitting there. Why? Because he's full of depression. He's full of Meirish Chayra. He's full of that melancholiness. He's full of heavy. Like we said, when a person's ba'atzvus, they feel sluggish. They can't move. They're not motivated. They can't. This is this poor guy. Can you believe that? You would do something against somebody's will today? Look at the way it says. He's kicking and screaming. The guy's kicking and screaming. He's probably dialing the police, at the same time, right? He's dialing, right? But they don't care. They throw the phone away and they pull him into the circle and he starts to dance. And they make him, they just keep dragging him around. And they're so happy, and they keep dragging him around. He doesn't want it. He's still kicking and he's in the circle, they're holding him, he can't do anything. He's over, he's outnumbered. He can't do anything. But he's trying to get away, but he can't. This is the same way it is. He's going to finish with this, don't worry. When a person's happy, all of his problems. Here's something this is such a great value. A person is dealing with whatever they're dealing with in life. And we all have our challenges. There's nobody alive that doesn't have challenges. It's impossible. As long as we're alive, we're going to have a challenge. Sometimes it'll be a very big challenge. It will be a small challenge. It's a challenge. How do you get rid of the challenge? With simcha. Because the challenge is there. It takes away from your simcha. And we said, what's the opposite of simcha? What's the opposite of joy? Depression. So if the person is involved in whatever his problem is, he's dealing with it. He's dealing with his problem. He's so involved and he's so inundated by the problem, he can't be happy. It's just pulling him down. He's getting deeper and deeper in it. But if he can do, like we said, the milei de shtuta, he could say some funny words or something, just to break the spell. It's like the same way we learned this, the concept from Chazal, mitzvah geireres mitzvah, avera geireres avera, right? One mitzvah, you do a mitzvah, causes you to another mitzvah. If a person does an avera, it causes him to do another avera, right? This person's so involved in the depression, it's one depression leads him to the next, to the next, to the next. It's that spiraling downward very fast. But how do you break it? He does something with joy. When he does, kishodim sameach, azay hamor shchoira v'yisurim, nistalkin min hatzad, they go to the stand on the side. They stand on the side. They can't come in. In other words, because the opposite of depression is joy. So if now the person's in joy, depression has to take a step back. Right, you got it? Avamali Yasera Lis Ametz Lirdaif Acha Amora Shchoira Daika. But even a greater thing is when you do that, now run after that. Run after that depression. Go run after it. Ulahachnis Oisei Gam Kein B'Seicha Simcha. And bring it also into your joy. Take the problem and recognize, wait, Hashem, you gave me the problem. I'm happy now. This problem is our problem. Because you're never by yourself. So you have the problem with Hashem. So take the problem, bring the problem in to your joy. And then that problem can now come to joy also. Take all of the problems, all of this situation, anything, and bring it into the simcha. It's amazing. You can really do this. This really does work. The same way a person comes to a simcha. Person comes to a simcha, comes to a chasna, bar mitzvah, comes to a siyum, comes to something, something nice, a bris milah, right? A sudas bris milah, or something, a pidyon haben, what have you, okay? He gets there and he has all his problems, but then he sees everyone else is so happy. So he thinks, wow, he just gets caught up in the joy, right? He gets caught up in the joy because he has his problems, but this is so powerful. The joy is so powerful. It's so he can touch it. He can feel it. So it brings him to joy. Nimsa shechaytev hamara shchayra umachnes oisai bal karcha l'seicha simcha kemashal. So he takes his problem at that time, but now he's in such a happy place. He's in such a joyous occasion. He's involved in it because he's so involved. He takes all of his problems and he places the problems in that same situation. The same way the guy was sitting on the side and everyone was happy and they snatched him and they brought him into the circle and they made him dance. He takes all of his problems and he places them with Hashem again, with his joy. And again, when we say when you do a mitzvah with joy, you lift the Shechina up from the klipa. The Shechina is stuck in the husks of impurity. So could you imagine you help the Shechina out? Can't you imagine that the Shechina is going to come and help you out? There's such a thing called hakaras hatov, right? Right? Someone does something good, you have to be grateful to that person, right? If you did something great for the Shechina, don't you think the Shechina is going to come and the Shechina is going to help you? It's amazing, right? But how do you get the Shechina to help you? You have to be with joy. Because that's how you lift up the Shechina. These are the words of Yeshaya, and Reb Nosson keeps bringing these words in. Look what the halachas. This word he's bringing. He's bringing it from this lesson. The yogain and anacha, the pains and the groans, they run. They escape. They run. They run away from the simcha. They can't be with the simcha. It's positive and negative. You can't put the two together. If you have electricity you have a positive wire and a neutral wire. And if you put those two wires together, it goes boom. It doesn't work. It can't. You can't have positive. We'll say positive is the simcha, the joy, leading us, motivating us. The negative, of course, depression is negative, right? It's interesting, right? Always the muscle of electricity works for pretty much all these things, these concepts. Okay? Now take these two and try to put them together. You blow the fuse. It can't. It'll just make a big spark. It'll make a boom. It can't. So now, when the person has his problems and he's stuck in the what do you call it, the depression. So now he changes, and now he goes to simcha. You know what the muscle is like this? That's the electrician in the box. He takes the wire out from the neutral, and now he puts it on the positive. See that? You can switch it. You machlif it. You can switch it. Right? He takes the wires now on the neutral bar. You know anything about electricity? There's a neutral bar, there's a positive bar. So he takes the wire from there and he puts it in there. That's what we do. We're stuck on the negative. We're stuck in the depression. We're stuck in the Meirish Chayra. I take myself out of that and I make myself positive. Amazing, right? Now, the other part is going to run away because they can't be together. You follow? The positive is more powerful than the negative. So if the positive is there, the negative can't come in. It can't. So now you're full of joy. You can't allow the yagana, it can't. And then you wind up taking that and making that positive also. You take the negative and you make the negative positive. And then the positive becomes much greater. Again, I try to give you an example of something physical to understand this. In other words, you're stuck in the world of depression. The world of joy has nothing to do with the world of depression. But if you could do something of joy and take yourself out of that, you switch it over, you switch it. It's the opposite. Now you're full of joy. The problem goes to the side. But what's even greater, the Rebbe says, if you take the problem and bring the problem into your joy, that's the greater thing. That's the best thing to do. You follow that? It's amazing. The same way in the story, right? He gave us the mashal. Everyone was dancing, and the other guy was standing minatzad. He was standing on the side, right? That's the Marish Chayra. Of course it has to be on the side. It can't be in the simcha. It can't. It's going to resist. It can't be in the simcha. Now you got to run after it. Oh yeah? I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you and I'm going to grab you and I'm going to bring you into my simcha. Ulasigam, ulahagiam. I will attain it and I will bring it here. Lahachnis oisam davka daika l'soicha simcha. I'll bring it into the joy. Is that fascinating, right? This is the greatest psychology possible. Of freeing a person from any problem they have. Just joy. Joy can take you out of any problem that you have. And again, that's the reason why I truly believe in hospitals, they always have clowns. A good hospital will have clowns, they'll have balloons, and they'll have things to take. Because again, when the patient sees the clown, for that moment he's in joy. He forgets his problem. You understand? The patient forgets the problem at that moment. He's now part of joy. He gets out of he's depressed because he has his problem. He's in the hospital. Believe me, that's very depressing. All right? It's very depressing to be in a hospital. So now he sees some joy. Oh, wait, joy lifts him up. Now he can take his problem, his sickness, whatever it is, place it with the joy. And then the joy will help him.
It's so opposite of what the ultimate intervention is in a psych ward. The ultimate intervention, nothing else works. shock therapy,
Shock them, yeah.
which destroys the person.
Yeah.
Destroys them.
And they give them medications, they can't think and they can't be had. It pulls them down.
Shock therapy.
It's amazing.
They still do it.
This can help. I'm telling you, anybody in any psych ward, if they learn this, they can free themselves. It's amazing. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm not saying. Listen, there are those that really have problems, but most people, I would say, majority of them made themselves crazy. There are those people that have their deficiencies, no question about it. And we're talking about a guy that just went down the wrong path and he kept spiraling down and then he went crazy. That guy, this can help. A guy that was born with whatever problems he has, okay, that's a different story. That's a different story. But even that person, no matter what it is, joy will help. A guy that made himself crazy, if he takes this lesson, he can actually free himself. And that's what it means, sasa v'simcha yasigo. I'll be massing it. I'll attain it. I'll grab it. Shasasa v'simcha yasigo v'yispesu es hayogoim v'anoch. And I catch it and I grab it. Shehem nosim ubarchim min hasimcha, because they're running, they're trying to escape from the simcha. They can't deal with the simcha. The Nagim Vanocha, he says, I'm negative. I can't deal with the pods. I can't do it again. I got to get out of here. I can't be here. The same way the Rebbe started off with the mashal. The guy was on the outside, and you're trying to get him. He doesn't want to go inside because he's negative and they're positive. They're no good. But you bring him in anyway, against his will. Switch him from negative to positive. How do you do that? Through joy. It's fascinating. Looks at what the Rebbe says now. Because this idea of yoga and anocha, that's connected directly to the sitra achra. The Malach HaMavis, the Satan, all the same. Sitra Achra is the other side. The other side is the Malach HaMavis. The other side is the Yetzer Hara, all the same thing. He has different names, different hats, different disguises. Okay? Sheinam Reitzim Liyos Merkava Ela Kedusha. Wait a second. You think the other side wants to be the chariot of holiness? No, it's the opposite. Bilam wanted to say, you think he wanted to say that? No way did he want to say that. He was going out of his mind that he was saying these words. He couldn't even believe it. He was listening to what he was saying. How did I say that? Right? You understand that, right? The other side does not want to be part of the Kedusha. Therefore, they're running and they're trying to escape from the simcha. You have to force them. Right? Means you have to force them, right? Force them. They don't want to come into the Kedusha. Bring them into the Kedusha anyway. The simcha bal korcham against their will. Then we're going to just do 24. Lesson 24 is unbelievable also. It's a little bit longer, but I think we'll devote the lesson because both of these go so nicely together. So you don't mind, can we do lesson 24? Okay, this is 23. Taught us about the simcha and how important it is to take the problem, the greater level. First to get out of to do something of joy, to bring yourself away from the negativism, bring yourself away from the depression, and then once you're working with the simcha, take your problem and bring your problem into the joy as well. Now the Rebbe says these famous words, and I tell you the truth, if most of the yeshiva world today would know these words, they wouldn't want to sing the song always. Here, look at these words. 24. Mitzvah gedola liyos besimcha tamid. I challenge you, you won't find this in any other sefer. You will not find this in any. You can ask your AI, you can ask your Google, you can ask who you'd like. I'm telling you, it does not exist. This is the source, the only source. Rabbi Nachman is the only one that said mitzvah gedola liyos besimcha. And in every yeshiva, all the time, mitzvah gedola, right? They're always singing the song, right? And they don't even realize they're singing Likutey Moharan. Is that amazing? Chazak, right? Lizgaber leharchik ha'atzva samoyre shchoyra b'chol koichai. Be joyful. It's a great mitzvah. Why is it a great mitzvah? Because it's the mitzvah that'll help you to bring you to do all other mitzvahs. What is the greatest mitzvah that's really not a mitzvah? And what is the greatest Aveira that's not an Aveira? The greatest mitzvah that's not a mitzvah is Simcha. Because it's the catalyst. It'll bring you to do everything, do all the mitzvahs. And what's the greatest Aveira that's not an Aveira? Atzvahs. It's not an Aveira, it's not one of the 613, it's not one of the negative commandments, 365 negative commandments, not to be ba'atzvahs. There's no such Aveira. But that's the Aveira that'll lead you to all the Aveiras. It's a prerequisite. Either you take the prerequisite of Simcha that'll lead you to all the positive mitzvahs and stay away from all the negative mitzvahs, right? Or you stick on the other side to depression and it'll bring you down. You won't do any positive mitzvahs and you'll do all the negative commandments. You understand? The chol, look at these words. Hachoilas haboyin al adam. Any sickness a person has, every doctor should learn this. Kulam boyin rak mikilkol asimcha. There's a defect in their simcha. There's something defective in their simcha. And because there's something defective in their simcha, causes a malfunction in the body that manifests in its way in a sickness. There are 10 different types of song, and all song is attached to simcha. For you have caused me to rejoice by your deeds. And these 10, now Rabbi Nachman is now going to qualify what he said, right? He made a statement. Rabbi Nachman made a statement. All sickness comes because there's a kilkul of simcha. So now he's explained to you, and he said simcha is attached to the 10 types of song, which is tikkun hakloli, which is connected to the 10 different types of pulses of the blood. Right? There are 10 different types of pulses of the blood. This is the quality, Rabbi Nachman's qualifying himself. And that's what gives the person life. And therefore, when the person has some kind of a defect or some kind of blemish in his joy, that's again a blemish in one of the 10 types of song, which is a blemish in one of the 10 types of the pulses. Then comes, he has the 10 different types of pulses and attaches itself to one of them. And then that doesn't go to that limb. It doesn't go to this, it causes that. So this kalkalin ayadei kilkul hayud mine negina, that they're defective because of their song. The simcha is connected to negina, song. And then since the person is involved, he has a damage in his simcha, he has a damage in his song. Shema simcha, which is the joy. Now look what he says. Because all kind of sicknesses have to do with the blood flow. Has to do with blood flow. And also, all types of song connect to one of the 10 types of songs. How do you like that? I don't know about some of these things today, but okay, whatever. The 10 types of songs, holy songs by people that are trying to do the right thing. Okay. Some of that stuff out there today is just noise. I don't know. They call it music, but I think it's more. They should call it noise, right? Okay. But here, nigina. We'll talk about song. Okay. Kifi kilkol simcha va'nigan. If a person, according to the person's defect in his simcha and his nigan, because simcha and nigan is one, right? Kain ba chaylas, therefore that's where the sickness sets in. And even doctors agree with this. The doctors will even tell you if the person is so depressed, if the person's so downward, it's going to lead him to sickness. Why? Because then the person's so depressed, he doesn't care about his health. He's not taking care of himself. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't feel motivated. So that's going to lead him to sickness. So atzvus is really any time a person has a kilkel in the simcha, which is connected to the 10 types of pulses, which is connected to all types of song, which is connected to all organs in the body and all types of sicknesses that a person can have, all come because of a kilkel of simcha, a defect in the simcha. The hasimcha he refuah gedayla. Oh, and being joyful, being happy, is a great refuah. Isn't that great? It's amazing. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to get any medication. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes they get an infection, they need the medication. We're talking about in general, okay? If you need the medication, you still take your medication. I'm not telling, or the Rebbe is not telling you here that if the kid has an ear infection, tell him he has to be happy and the ear infection will go away. I don't know if that'll work. But if he's happy together with his medication, then it'll definitely work. Okay? You got it? And that's why even so when it's in the hospital, they always send the clown by. Because if the hospital really they care for their patients and they want their patients to be healed, so they'll do things of joy for the patient, so that way the patient can pull themselves out of the mara shchayra, out of the atzvus, the depression, and bring them to simcha. And that's the antidote, that's the secret to real success in healing. And we know in the end of time, there'll be a great simcha like we learned in lesson 24, and Reb Noson's teaching us in Likutey Halachas in Hilchas Haidah Vov, that in the end of time, there'll be a great joy. Why will there be a great joy in the end of time? Because right now, we have whatever problem a person has, he's looking at his problem for the face value of the problem right now. Right? You're just looking for the face value, you see the problem. And that brings the person down. But in the end of time, Hashem will show us, He'll show us how everything that we went through is really for our good. Right? The person did whatever he did, and he was supposed to be punished in a certain way. But Hashem, with His kindness, gave him this problem. That he thinks this is the worst problem. Oh, I have this problem. But really, Hashem will show him how kind that problem really was. And he'll see and he'll believe it. You'll see it, you'll know it, and then they'll bring the person to the greatest joy. Really, Hashem, you were taking care of me. I thought you were against me. But I realized, no, you're not. You're taking care of me. Also, the Kadosh Baruch Hu liyos roish chayla letzadikim lasid lovay. Dahainu sheyaseh mochel letzadikim Hu Yisbarach Hiya Roish Chayla. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Gemara tells us that at the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to make a circle of tzaddikim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be in the center of the circle. He's going to run it. There'll be joy. Because everyone will say, Zek Keli V'Aveyu. That's Hashem. That's Hashem. Unbelievable. Ki Shechina L'Mala Me'Rosh Haisav Shel Chayla. Because we know the Shechina always rests on the head of the person that's sick in the sick bed. If a person's sick, the Shechina is with the person. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is standing there by the head of the sick person. Because the chayla has no life. See that? The Shechina is giving the sick person his life. In the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will fix all the sicknesses. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be the head of the den. He'll be the head. He'll be running everything. He'll be the head of the circle. That's interesting. How can you be the head of the circle? A circle, the beautiful thing about a circle is no one's ahead. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be leading the circle. Because simcha is the antidote for sickness. That's why the simcha and the rikud is called chayla. Isn't that strange? Chayla is also sickness, right? But it's also because simcha can help you with your sickness. Got it? The rikud, the dance. Kihem tikkun achaylas, what? Machol, from the sickness. Machol, right? Chayla. Yeah. But chola also means to be sick. Interesting. And this is the klal. Guys, this is the general rule the Rebbe is telling you. No matter what your situation is, no matter what you're dealing with, whether it's a financial problem, it's a marital problem, you're having trouble with your children, you're having trouble with your partner, whatever the problem is. Vaklal. Do whatever you can, just be ach sameach. Got it? Ki teva adam limshech atzmei lemara shchayre v'atzvas machmas piguye umikrei hazman. It's the way of people, and that's why the Rebbe says you have to do this b'kol korchai. You have to use all your might. You have to put all your effort into this. Right? People are putting all their effort into make money. They're putting their effort into all different things. The Rebbe says, no. Invest your koyach in simcha, because that'll bring you all the success. So all the world's running around looking for this and that and this and that. But look at every one of those people, and they may have a lot of money, they may have a lot of power, they may have a lot of success, but they're very depressed people. If you want to be successful, work on simcha, and then go after what you want with joy, and then you'll truly be successful. See that? Most people that are successful, I mean, you see it. Look, most sports guys, these sports guys, you think they should be the happiest guys in the world. The guy can run around on the court in his underwear, and they give him millions of dollars. Right? I mean, think about it. You have this big guy, and he runs around, they put him on his scotchkiss, right? And he's running around bouncing a ball, and they give him $20-30 million. It's funny. It's mamish funny, right? Yes, is that not funny?
Yeah. It's entertaining.
Yeah. But for the guy himself, he's like, wow, this is amazing. Look at this, I can bounce the ball, and all these people come to see me. All these people that they're wearing, not only that, they're wearing their jerseys with his name on it. So he walks in the street and he sees, wow, he sees all the guys, he looks in the stand when he's playing, everyone's wearing his shirt. You think this guy should be the happiest guy in the world. The next thing you know, he commits suicide. He's depressed. How many of them did? How many actors, right? Actors, how many of them commit suicide? Why? They have no joy. They have success. They have recognition, name recognition. They have money. They have people, they can't wait people would love to see this. Then the guy takes his life. Because the cloud is, v'cloud tzarech lizgaber miyoid b'kol choykos lias ach sameach. And this is everybody. This is, Rabbi Nachman's talking, of course, to the Jewish people. He's talking to us. But this is for every human being. This works with everybody. This is not just, and that's why today you have so many people that are not Jewish learning Rabbi Nachman's Torah, because it helps them. This can help anybody. And every person's filled with pains and troubles. And this even if you have to say something silly, do something silly, jump around. I mean, look at David HaMelech. He used to jump around. He did all kinds of silly things. But he understood. Why was David HaMelech so successful? Because he understood joy. People thought he was nuts. Right? His wife thought he was nuts, right? He's doing somersaults in the base of it. What's he doing? What's he doing? He didn't know. Even if you have to say silly things, make yourself happy. Because they'll tell you the Torah says leiv nishbar v'nitka alekim loy tivzeh, right? It says, right? Leiv nishbar v'nitka alekim loy tivzeh, right? If a person has a broken heart, Hashem likes that. He likes the broken heart. Im kol zehu rak be'ezeh shah. That's the time that you're doing your Zbaidadas. There's a time, it's worthy for you to take time in the day, so you can be part of this idea of Leiv Nishbar V'Nitke Alekim Loi Tivzeh. But you can pick that time. And this is not, Rabbi Nachman has this idea, the Baal HaTanya agrees with this also. The Baal HaTanya tells you in Tanya, in the I think it's the second chapter, you're supposed to take an hour a day, and that's the time you open your courthouse. The Baal HaTanya says that. You set a time that the hours of the courthouse are open. The court's open, these are the hours. This 1 hour. Whatever it is. Let's say you want to do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This guy wants to have his court at 7 o'clock at night, at 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is. And the Baal HaTanya and Rabbi Nachman will tell you, you can discuss all the things and all the stuff, the broken-hearted stuff, during that time. But once the court hours are closed, back to Simcha. And then during the day, when the Marash Chara comes to attack you, no, I'm sorry, court's closed. You can come back and we can discuss this when the court's open. Not now. Now is not the time we do this because court's closed. You follow that? It's a great device that you can use to mamish be b'simcha. As you take the idea, today, whatever hour it is, and that's the hour you set aside to speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then you can discuss all the things. And we discussed actually, if you're discussing something that's actually, even during that time, it's supposed to lead you to simcha. Yes, you're discussing your problems, it's supposed to lead you to simcha. Okay? Even the court is supposed to lead you to simcha. So if you're discussing something that's too daunting, that's really bringing you down, close that file, talk about something else. You'll come back to it another time. You're maybe not ready to deal with it yet. You understand? Kamuva be'etzleinu, aval kol hayoim kulei tzarech liyas b'simcha. But the rest of the day, you have to be happy. You take your time, that you speak to Hashem, you work things out, but the rest of the time, be full of joy. Ki milev nishba bekal yecholim lovei lamara shchayra. Because if a person's going to live and take the actual words literal, oh, leiv nishba v'nitya lekim lo, so I'm going to be very depressed. I'll have a broken heart.
That I could do.
I'll do that, because then he's attached to the Yetzer Hara. He's attached to the Sitracha. He's attached to it. He has a kilkel in the Simcha, which means he's causing himself sickness. Right? Much greater than a person can stumble during Simcha, with Simcha, of course, right? Chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom ki zeh korav yoyse lovei milev nishba amar shchar, because a person is depressed and he has that broken heart. And he has that broken heart all the time and he walks around with that broken heart. That person is probably going to be a person that will have to visit the doctor a lot of times. So that's a person that will be taking a whole regimen of pills because he doesn't have the simcha. He's working on depression. But if he takes the advice and he takes that time in the day, and that's the only time he discusses and he has his leiv nishbar, then he'll be happy and healthy. Ki zeh korav yoyse lovei milev nishba al-marzav. Al kein tzarech sheyeh b'simcha tamid rak b'shor miyuchedes yeh loy leiv nishbar. Only a certain time that you designate to discuss the time of his baidus. You bring it. You speak about the things that cause the brokenheartedness. But then again, you have to close it out after, and you have to be besimcha. And that's the greatest way the person can ever be successful. You can always be successful if you work on simcha. Just to review, we said that simcha is positive. Atzvos is negative. Which makes sense, right? Simcha leads the person to success, motivated, right? And it's a wonderful thing. Atzvos brings the person down, negative. And we said that negative and positive don't go together. Right, the example we gave you, if you take a positive, take in electricity, if you take the positive wire and you have the negative wire, you try to put those two together. Yossi, what do you think will happen?
Positive and negative.
You touch them together in electricity.
Makes a spark. Is that what happens?
Yeah, it'll make a boom and it'll blow the fuse. It's not going to work well. And there's even a resistance. If you ever did that, I felt it myself. I did this. You take the positive wire, and as you bring in the negative wire to it, there's a resistance. The negative wire doesn't want to touch the positive wire. There's a resistance. But yeah, you can push it together, and then it'll go boom.
You deal with magnets too, the same thing.
Yeah, well, same idea. Okay. Oh, magnets. Yeah, magnets are good.
Yeah.
No, but a magnet, when you bring it together, it clicks. Here I'm showing you the example that they don't want to be together. So the Rebbe started off in 23, just to review real quickly. He says, well, you have the Marash Chayra that's staying minatzad. He's staying on the side because there's a simcha going on. He can't join the simcha. Right, but we said you could take that person, the other people from the simcha grab that person, and they bring him into the dance, and he's kicking and screaming. He doesn't want to, but you make him dance anyway, and you keep him, and he's overpowered, right? Because we said the Yogan and Anacha wants to be Bareach. It wants to run away. It doesn't want to stay there, right? But if you force it, and you have so much simcha, you could turn that into simcha. You could turn the negative. You could take the problem and bring it into the simcha. When you realize the problem came to you from Hashem, and Hashem is with you in the problem. The same way we said that a sick person has the Shekhinah by his bed. Because the Shekhinah, the sick person only has his chiyutz because he has Hashem, right? When a person realizes that whatever problem he has, Hashem, you're with me in this problem. We say in Yoshe B'Seis, "Imoy anoichi b'tzara, chatzeyu chavdeyu oyrich yamaz," right? We say those words. Imoy anoichi b'tzara. What does that mean? Hashem, you're with me in this problem. I'm not here myself. I thought I was here by myself.
Yeah, the solution is in the problem.
If you know how to deal with it.
Right, it's like vaccinations.
Yeah, they take the sickness and they put it into the vaccine, and then the body builds the antibodies. Right? It's fascinating. It's really truly one of the most important lessons, really. And this lesson goes together with 24 that we learned in the first part, and this is 23 and 24 in the second part. But you see the value, the great value of just being besimcha, being joyful. And I know it's so hard today because everything, wherever you go, people are walking around with their face down, their faces are down, not because they're shmiras anayim. They have their faces down because they're so depressed.
Yeah, the faces in their phone, which is
Faces there in the phone.
which is what depresses them. It does.
No, you're right. Okay. Do anyone have any questions on this? Do you want to discuss this? Is anyone not convinced that simcha is important?
How come it's not a mitzvah? That's like part of, you can't make it a mitzvah, or that's part of the game, that's part of the chase.
No. So we start off lesson 24. Mitzvah gedayla liyos b'simcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Who says that, by the way? I know the song. Where does that?
Lesson 24 Tinyana.
Is Rav Nachman the
This is
inventor
where
of
it
that?
is.
Only Rav Nachman.
He invented those words like that mitzvah.
That's the only place you find it. You'll ask your friend after if it's listed
Yeah.
anywhere else.
It's not in Chazal somewhere. It's-
No.
So all these yeshivish guys are singing.
Yeah, they're
this song,
saying. Yeah, we said that. We said before you
In the
got
mirror,
it.
they're dancing.
Yeah, in the mirror. Yeah.
What was it, the beginning of 23?
24, the beginning of 24. First words of 24.
You're
We just read it.
I'm telling you.
The first time we
just
see
learned
these
it.
words
Yes.
in Jewish literature is
Yes.
here.
Nowhere else.
You won't find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that
Yeah.
all these
It's not one of the six.
Yeah.
It's not one of the 613.
And it's not
have
one of
to
the
look and see how
613.
many of them are smiling when they see that.
Oh, how many is smiling? Oh, there we go. I believe a lot of them are smiling because they're singing words at Likutey Moharan.
Such an alacrity.
What's that?
I'm excited.
No, the way David, like a young man, which he is,
Here?
jumped out of his chair to show me these words.
Yeah. It's amazing. It really works. This stuff really works. Okay, so that's our lesson for today. What?
So powerful.
No, but it was important. And then we're going to go back on Sunday. Mitzvah Hashem will continue Likutey Halacha. But Rab Nassan keeps telling us in Likutey Halachas that we're learning, like Rabbi Nachman says in 23. So I said, you know what? I think it'll be a great value to learn lesson 23. And I want to tell you, I told you this, but years ago, it's probably over 20 years ago. You know Oizer Bergman? Yeah, Oizer, right? He was his mother, Allah Shalom, lived in Cedarhurst. So he used to come to be the kind of mitzvah kibbutz Haim. He used to come to New York, and he would go to the shtibel where I would hang out at the shtibel. And we would learn every morning when he was there. We would learn these two lessons, 23 and 24. And we did that for 2 weeks. Again and again. We worked on it again and again and again. It was amazing. And it really is, it's life-changing. It's really life-changing when you realize the great value of joy. Okay? So that's our lesson for today. And now we're going to learn a lesson in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. What?
Next one's back, you'll see him at BRI.
Yeah, Mitzvah Hashem. Yeah, if you're there for Rosh Hashanah, he's always there. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
6'4", tall.
He's B'Simcha also, he's had issues. Nothing.
Huh? Oh yeah, a lot of yeah. But he'll always see a smile on his face.
That's true.
Yassi, everybody has a problem. There is nobody alive that's living a hunky-dory life with no problems. I challenge any of this. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Okay. Today we're learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. We're in Hilchas Netilas Yadayim, which is Siman Mem 40.
9.
And now we're up to 9. Oh, here we go. An interesting one. Okay, 9. So 49. Okay. Mi shaloi notal yodav v'noga b'mayim. All right, now pay attention to these words. Somebody that didn't wash their hands. In other words, they came out of the bathroom. They didn't wash their hands yet, and they touched the water. V'loi loi nitmu amayim. The water is not defiled. Chiddush. My hands are impure. I came out of the bathroom, right? I touch water. The water does not become defiled. Now listen. V'lachein hayotzim mibeis hakisa yochol lishoiv mayim. A person that comes out of the bathroom can draw water. Min achavis, from a barrel. He has a barrel or something. There's a barrel there. Lirchatz yadav. So he could put his cup into the water. His cup can even touch the water. His hand that's impure can even touch the water. What's that? Oh, there you go. Lirchatz yadav. And so listen, he takes, so here, this is the case. The guys, this is before we had running water. Okay, so you have a barrel of water, and he takes the cup and he puts his hand into the barrel to pull out water. Right? So now his hand, which is impure, touched the water. So one may think that all the water now becomes disqualified. Right? No. Whatever's left in the bucket, in that barrel, is okay. You can keep using the water. There's no problem with it. But look at this. Aval im shishcheich yodav b'soich hachovis l'nakoisan. But listen to this. You have that same barrel. You got it? The barrel's filled with fresh water. But the guy now puts his hands in the barrel to wash his hands. First case was he put his hand in to take out water. So he touched the water in the barrel because he was trying to take out water. The second time, he put his hands in there to wash his hands in the water. He had something dirty on his hands, whatever it was. He wanted to wash it off. So he puts his hands in the water, in the bucket. Afilu tavo barak etzba kitana linakoisa. Even if he put his pinky in the barrel because he had something dirt on his pinky. So he dipped his pinky into the barrel, into that barrel of water. Nifsa l'kola ma'im ipnei shenesasa b'hem melacha. All the water now becomes disqualified. Why? Because now this water became water that was used for a purpose. He used it to clean. We said any water yesterday, if you have water that you use to soak your dishes, right? You are mediach your kalim, you are soaking your dishes, rinsing your dishes, right? Or we said if you're using water, even we gave a case like this. You boiled up water in a pot to warm up a baby's bottle. Right? You know, people do that, right? They'll boil up water in a pot, and then they'll take the cold bottle from the refrigerator, and they'll put the bottle into the pot, right? That water's clean, right? The bottle was clean, right? No problem. The bottle's clean. The water's clean. You boiled it. There's no germs in the water, right? It's all good, right? Good, right? But you can't use that water to wash your hands even when it cools down, because you use the water for a purpose. So that water becomes disqualified for using to wash your hands.
So if you're doing it for a physical reason, it's disqualified.
Right.
For a spiritual reason, it's all right.
No, not even a spiritual. No, you're using it to. No. Here, the guy has no choice. He has to draw water out of the bucket to take the water. His purpose is, his machshava is to take water out so I can wash my hands. That's okay.
Physically, what for physical?
Yeah. In other words, listen, there's a bucket, he has a cup, and he has water. So he has to dip the cup into the water to fill it up. Right. So his hand touched the cup, the water.
It's not from the Tzilas Yadayim.
No, he's not trying to clean his hands. Just practically, he's practically. He needs to take water out of the bucket in order for him to wash his hands. No, to wash his hands.
Oh, okay.
David, okay, we said to wash your hands, you need a cup, right?
Yeah.
You need a cup.
To wash physically.
To wash your hands for bread, you need to have a cup. Right? And the cup has to be a good cup, and it can't have a narrow end. It can't have a narrow spout, because you have to be shy of the water. You have to be shayfich the water right, a big amount right away. Yeah. The cup can't be damaged. The rim has to be a nice rim on the cup. So he has this great cup, qualified cup. He takes, but he doesn't have running water.
Right.
There's no running water, right? But there's a bucket full of water. He has a big barrel of water. So he takes the cup, he puts his hand in the barrel to fill up the water, to fill up the cup, to wash his hands. Now the problem is his hand touched the water. So one may think I disqualified the water because my hands are impure and they touch the water. No, because you were just taking the water out. There was no other way to do it. And that's what you were doing. You don't disqualify the water. But he said, even if you take your pinky and just to wash it in the bucket, to wash it, the purpose is, again, I want to clean my pinky. Then I disqualify all the water in the bucket, because now all that water is now, because it was used for a purpose. You understand? Okay. Everyone, I wish you a wonderful Shabbos. And remember, the whole point in Parshas Balak is to teach us one thing. Right? Remember this, and I want you to realize this, okay? It's a cuckoo story, really a cuckoo story, right? And you think, why does the Torah have to tell me this story? And we spend the whole week on it studying the Parsha, and we need to understand it. Because Hashem is telling, and again, if Hashem didn't have Moshe write it in the Torah, we would never have known it happened. Right? If it wasn't in the Torah, we would never know that this story ever happened. But Hashem's showing us. Read this parsha right now. We're going to be going into the 3 weeks, right? Hashem is Ima Yaneichi B'tzara, right? So we read this parsha always before the 3 weeks. So we think it's this is a cuckoo parsha. What is this? Why do we have to know this story? Hashem is showing you. See how you were sitting in your tents, you were living your life nice, everything was good. Right? We straightened out the water issue last week. Everything, we had water now. Everything was nice. Everything's nice in the camp now. Everyone's nice, and Hashem had the Yanania covered, so we had our air conditioning. We weren't getting billed for the electric bill. It was great, and we had running water, and we had our food. Everything was great, right? But we had this enemy in the background that was running around on the mountains trying to curse us. He was going all around us trying to curse us, and Hashem is watching us the entire time. So Hashem is telling you, you have all your enemies now all around you. Don't worry, I'm watching you. Just trust in me. That's the message. I think that's the most important message to take from Parshas Balak. Hashem is always watching us. Hashem cares about us. And He's telling you, read this Parsha. Read it really good. Because this guy was a diabolical monster. They really wanted to destroy you.
And had powers. Had real powers.
Real powers. Real powers.
He knew that.
Yeah, Yossi, we learned a lot. Yossi, we learned a lot about that. Remember, we learned that. He knew that split second that Hashem is angry. Yeah. And he knew how HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe Rabbeinu davened to Hashem for that they don't get angry. And Hashem listened to Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillah. Moshe Rabbeinu knew what was going on. Tzaddik always know the tzaddikim always know what's going on.
You know, had the enemy tried to curse us and not been successful, Dayin, Todah, like that was great. But I mean, to turn the curse into a blessing, that's already a little much. I mean, I know, I wouldn't ask for that. It's like saying Iran.
Have a good Shabbos, everybody.